Judge Raquel West's Texas courtroom, a 23-year-old's future hangs by a thread. This is Marcus Salim. He's on the brink of losing his last chance at freedom. What started as probation for burglary has snowballed into a chaotic saga of deadly conduct, gunfire, and evading arrest. For nearly 2 years, he vanished from the court's radar, a ghost in the system. Now, he's back in handcuffs, and the question is simple. Has he finally learned his lesson, or has he burned through every last ounce of trust? In the courtroom, the tension is thick. We've just heard that Marcus Salim has pleaded true to 7 probation violations. The original charge, burglary of a home. Now, his rap sheet has grown. His defense attorney, Mr. Louie, stands up to make a case for mercy. He tells the judge that Marcus has made serious mistakes. No doubt about it, but that his time in custody has been a wake-up call. Mr. Lewis insists that Marcus is now truly willing and ready to comply with the court's orders. He believes, if given one more opportunity, Marcus could finally complete his probation successfully. He acknowledges the mistakes were costly, but he says Marcus is ready to face the consequences and wants to address the court himself to share his plans for a better future. It's Marcus's turn to speak. He stands before Judge West and offers a simple, direct apology. "Yes, ma'am," he says, his voice steady. "I'm sorry for my actions that I did when I was on probation." He asks for a fresh start, a chance to get his life back, be there for his family, go back to work, and help his mother with her bills. It's a plea for a clean slate. His attorney then steps in again, trying to offer some context for Marcus's disappearance. He explains that Marcus was dealing with the death of his grandmother, who was a huge part of his support system. The loss, he suggests, sent Marcus into a tailspin, causing him to go astray. He assures the judge that Marcus still has a family support system ready to help him, but the loss of his grandmother was a critical turning point. But Judge West isn't just focused on his disappearance. She has a list of new offenses, and she wants answers. "What is the status of the 5 new offenses that are alleged?" she asks, cutting straight to the point. She's particularly interested in the deadly conduct charges from August 2023, where Marcus allegedly discharged a firearm. The courtroom goes quiet as everyone scrambles for information. The defense attorney believes those cases are still pending in a misdemeanor court, but the judge presses on, reminding him that Marcus already pleaded true to those allegations in her court. It becomes a confusing back and forth as they try to track down the status of each case, from evading arrest to the firearm charges. It seems some charges were refused or dismissed, but the judge isn't letting it go. She wants the full picture, and right now, the details are murky. The state's attorney, Miss Malfino, finally weighs in, admitting she's torn. The biggest red flag for her is the sheer amount of time Marcus was on the run. It wasn't just a month or 2, she says. They looked for him for almost 2 years. During that time, he racked up new offenses. Even if some of those cases were ultimately refused by intake, he still admitted to committing them in this very courtroom. The prosecutor then brings up another crucial point. Marcus was previously ordered to a special program called ISF, an inpatient facility designed to address his behavior, but he never went. Why? It seems new pending legal issues got in the way, and he was released from jail before he could ever start the program. Essentially, a critical opportunity for rehabilitation was missed, and he was back on the streets. The judge pieces the timeline together, and it paints a grim picture. So, she begins laying out the facts for everyone to hear. You get deferred probation for a 2nd degree felony burglary of a habitation. You get out, you commit 3 new offenses, 2 counts of deadly conduct for discharging a firearm, and an assault. She continues, explaining that even after admitting to those violations, she gave him another chance, ordering him to the ISF program. But that fell through. He got out, got yet another opportunity, and then what happened? He was caught evading arrest. Now he's back in her courtroom, saying he's sorry and wants to start over. Think about how that sounds, she tells him, her voice filled with disappointment. Did he really think the court would just forget about him after he disappeared for nearly 2 years? Judge West looks directly at Marcus. "You're 23, she says, her tone turning from frustration to finality. "You started this when you were 19. You feel like you're not taking advantage, and you're not growing up and making better decisions." She acknowledges that the probation officer tried to work with him, but his pattern of behavior speaks for itself. "You're on probation for a felony," she reminds him, "and you're shooting. Then you get out again. You violate again, and you take off." The judge's decision is made. "I can't give you a fourth shot," she declares. "You've had your shots." With that, she finds him guilty of burglary of a habitation and revokes his probation. The sentence is handed down. 6 years in the Texas Department of Corrections. As the bailiff leads Marcus away, the judge hands him a final, stark warning about his future. Because of this felony conviction, he is now legally barred from ever possessing a firearm or ammunition. One last chance. One final plea. But in the end, it was too little, too late. Marcus Alim's long and winding road of second, third, and even fourth chances has finally come to an end. It's a sobering reminder that in Judge West's courtroom, actions carry weight, and eventually, the bill always comes due. For Marcus, the price of his mistakes is 6 years behind bars. Thank you for watching. The outcomes in this courtroom serve as a powerful lesson on accountability and the consequences of our choices. If you found this story compelling, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the justice system. We'll see you in the next video.